Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're doing something really special, a deep dive into the fascinating story of a couple, Temple and Roy.
And it's particularly fitting because today, July 12th, is actually their wedding anniversary.
It really is. And you shared this incredible, well, treasure trove of sources with us. We've got old notes, handwritten reflections, personal ads.
Wedding announcements,
Um,
photos.
yeah,
It's quite the collection, like a real time capsule of their life together.
it feels like it.
And what's so interesting, I think, is how all these, seemingly different pieces, they just weave together. They form this really rich tapestry of their relationship.
Right.
So our mission really is to pull out the most important bits about how they met, how they fell in love, built a life, basically giving you a shortcut to understanding their connection.
And maybe find some lessons for the rest of us along the way. Okay, let's unpack this. Where do we even start?
Well, let's start right at the beginning, how they actually found each other.
Okay, so our sources show it was, well, kind of a modern romance for back then, the early 90s.
Yeah, definitely. Temple, she was 23, saw herself as a writer.
Hmm.
She placed a personal ad.
In the SF Weekly, November 92. That feels bold for the time.
It does. And the ad itself, it was so specific. She described herself, let's see, 5'4", 23, Chicana, vibrant dark hair and eyes,
Uh-huh.
accepting, perceptive, quirky humor, and yeah, a dedicated writer.
And she knew what she wanted too, right?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Men who are charismatic, playful, ambitious, sharp, complex, and get this, hidden poets.
Hidden poets. Okay,
Right.
so the big question is, did anyone actually answer this very specific ad?
Someone did. Roy answered that ad.
No way!
Yes. So they first met briefly at Edith's Lamplight Coffee in Oakland, just coffee.
Okay.
But the first official date, December 6th, 1992, that one had, let's say, a memorable start.
Memorable how? Don't leave us hanging.
Well, Temple was an hour late.
An hour for a first date. Ouch!
Yeah, she totally forgot to change her clock for daylight saving time.
Oh, no.
So you picture Roy sitting there, nursing a now cold latte, checking his watch, stomach probably in knots.
Thinking he's been stood up.
Totally. And Temple, she's just calmly browsing in a bookstore next door, completely oblivious.
That's incredible. So what happened when she finally walked in? Was he mad?
Apparently his first feeling was just relief. Relief she actually showed up.
Okay, fair enough, after an hour.
Right. And he liked her smile, her bubbly personality.
And what about Temple? What was her first impression, apart from him being patient?
Well, she liked the patience, definitely,
Yeah.
and his broad shoulders. And she found him surprisingly soulful.
Soulful. Okay.
Yeah. And they shared those little details, Roy, 27, still visiting his parents every week. Temple, 23, talking about leaving home at 18, being independent.
A nanny dreaming of being a writer.
Exactly. And Roy told her he liked independent women. He even went out later and bought Women Who Dance with Wolves.
Wow. Okay, so he was listening, really listening.
Seems like it. But the real kicker from that first date, Roy gave her a note at the end.
A note, like handwritten.
Yep. It said, "Dear Temple, thanks for tonight. You met or exceeded all of my expectations."
Met or exceeded. That's
Yeah.
formal.
Right. He goes on, "I hope I lived up to yours. Please consider this an invitation to another meeting in the near future. Love, Roy."
That is dutifully honest, as she apparently calls it.
Exactly. Temple still finds that met or exceeded part funny. But it kind of set the tone, didn't it? Directness, honesty, maybe a little bit of charming formality.
Yeah, it really did. So, okay, they get past the late start and the formal note. What happens next? They start dating.
Right. In this early phase, it seems like it was a lot about reflection, figuring out who they were individually and how they might actually fit together.
Mm-hmm.
Roy's notes about Temple from this time were fascinating. He's really observing her.
Like what sort of things?
Her daily habits, the fact she kept a journal, her favorite writer, her best friend, Susan. He even noted her favorite flower was the rose.
Wow, that's detailed. He was paying close attention.
He really was. It's like he was studying her,
Wow.
but in an interested way.
And Temple, what was going through her head?
She was definitely noticing the differences. Big time. In the first month, she wrote about it.
What did she say?
She called herself Latina and a roving fiesta.
Okay, I like that.
And Roy, he was Japanese and a corporation. Or smooth as a TV screen.
Whoa, a corporation versus a roving fiesta. That's quite a contrast.
Isn't it? She wondered if he was creative enough. And her friend Susan apparently thought he was secretly a Republican living in a corpcubator.
A corpcubator. Did she run away then?
Nope. The note says she giggles with Susan and then called him back.
So the differences weren't a deal breaker, maybe even intriguing.
Seems that way. And they found common ground in unexpected places. About 4 months in, Temple noted they both loved disco.
Disco. Okay.
And she wrote, "That's more important than you may think."
Huh. So maybe it's not always about the big philosophical alignments. Sometimes it's just shared joy.
Exactly. Shared joy in the small things can be huge, apparently. And their families were pretty different, too.
Right. Roy's family was San Francisco Japanese American. His mom was outgoing, had a karaoke club.
Yeah. And his dad was more reserved, supportive. Different from what Temple called other Japanese couples of their generation.
And Temple's background, New Mexico, Colorado, left
Yeah.
home early, valued independence.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So you have these different backgrounds, these different personalities.
Yep.
How does that play into commitment?
Good question. Was marriage on the table early on?
Well, Temple was hesitant. She actually said, "I've never known anyone who had a good marriage," likely thinking about her own parents.
That's heavy. And Roy?
He apparently wanted to figure himself out more first. He told her at one point he was not ready to get married, but he was ready to be engaged.
Yeah.
Even asked for her ring size. So moving forward, but cautiously.
Interesting steps. But did their views on marriage itself align?
There was this one conversation about 3 months in that seems really significant. Roy shared this thought.
Yeah.
He said, marriage is so amazing because when you get old and the world tells you less and less that you're desirable, there's someone there who reminds you every day that you are loved and attractive.
Wow. That's quite profound. A very deep view of partnership and security.
It really is. It shows what he was looking for, that deep emotional safety.
Mm-hmm.
He also told her once, after ditching his friends to pick her up, having a girlfriend is like having a family. You have responsibilities.
So he was serious, even if cautious about the M word itself.
Definitely taking it seriously. Even their dreams seem to reflect things. Roy dreamt about protecting Temple from danger.
Fits with his sort of constant worry you mentioned.
Right, and Temple dreamt about their wedding invitations being blue and gold.
And Roy's reaction.
Just, those are good colors. Very Roy.
Very practical. Okay, so despite the initial questions, the differences, they're clearly getting closer.
Absolutely. The sources say Roy courted Temple in a gentlemanly fashion for 3.5 years.
3.5 years, so slow and steady.
Seems like it. And then they set the date. Friday, July 12th, 1996. Today.
At the Brazilian Room in Tilden Park, Berkeley. Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, cobblestone patio for the ceremony, dinner, salsa DJ, live jazz.
Yeah.
They went all out.
And they included both their heritages, Mexican and Japanese?
Like planned to, yes.
Yeah.
And Temple's cousin Pam and her best friend Susan were her honor attendants. Family and close friends were key.
It sounds like it. There was a newsletter, too. Before the wedding?
Yeah, pre-wedding newsletter. It described Roy as very nice guy. High praise, right?
The highest.
He even got the seal of approval from Temple's grandma, Martinez. And her dad apparently said Roy was not just a son, he's an hijo.
Oh, wow. Hio. That's deep. That's more than just son-in-law.
It really is. The newsletter also mentioned his job at Nissan, his degree, but also his hobbies, sunbathing, photography.
Not just photographing sunbathers, it clarified.
Right. Bookstore browsing, travel, and being a certified cat socializer for the SPCA.
A man of many talents. And a cat lover. So what about Temple's feelings in the newsletter?
She was just thrilled to marry him. Called him Roy-san. Very much in love. Planned to move into his condo. Change her name to Temple Salas Yoshi. A real joining.
It sounds like it. They even put travel tips in the newsletter.
Yeah. San Francisco on a shoestring. Tips for guests. Flights. Lodging. Cheap eats. It just shows how thoughtful they were, wanting everyone to be there.
That's really sweet. Okay, so the big day arrives. The ceremony itself, what was that like?
It seems incredibly personal and meaningful, led by Reverend Tony Ponicello. The procession was very specific, involving lots of family.
Temple's mom, uncle, her dad escorting her.
Right. Her dad pulling back the veil, giving her a kiss. Roy waiting with his groomsmen, Art and Rich. And Roy's parents, Iwao and Yoko, were mentioned, honored in the homily.
So family was really woven into the fabric of the ceremony.
Absolutely. And the homily itself, it talked about marriage as a supreme sharing, like two rivers merging into a greater one.
That's a beautiful image.
It also mentioned ritual, family, and even circled back to Roy's patience on that first date.
Huh. It all connects.
It does. The idea was that the ceremony was both the end of the search and a beginning.
There was a reading, too, wasn't there? From Marianne Williamson.
Yes, from Illuminata. Really powerful stuff. It spoke about them being God's gift to each other,
Wow.
not just for themselves, but to help each other find a greater sense of who He's is meant to be healed and made strong.
And that line about her relaxing in his arms like never before.
Yes, and that from that day on, each other's needs would carry the same priority. It's a huge commitment.
Definitely. It sets a very high bar for partnership.
And there was this fascinating moment, a deliberate pause. The Reverend asked if anyone knew of unresolved grievances.
Whoa, really? Like, speak now or forever hold your peace, but more therapeutic?
Kind of. No one objected, so he said, basically, we assume the past is forgiven and we move forward into the future, free from the past.
That's powerful. A conscious letting go.
It is. And Temple, reflecting years later, actually on this date in 2025 in her notes, she acknowledged marriage is hard, competing interests and all. But its purpose is to create something more, especially that part about relaxing and being safe. And she said with Roy, she accepts him as he is, and that makes him strong.
So that idea of acceptance and safety, it really endured for them.
It seems central. Even the ring ritual was full of symbolism. Circles for eternity, gold for preciousness.
Their reflectivity reminding them of the light within the relationship.
Exactly. Then traditional vows and this communal proclamation where everyone declared them husband and wife.
What a powerful moment that must have been. So bringing it all together,
Yeah.
what's the big picture here?
Well, you go from this quirky personal ad, this, hilariously late first date,
Right.
through all the reflections and differences, to this incredibly deep, meaningful ceremony, and then on to a whole life together. It really shows the whole arc, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not just the wedding day, it's the whole journey.
And it's clear the journey continued. Our sources show that much later, salsa dancing in Mexico in 2020.
Even if their daughter wasn't impressed.
Huh, right. Celebrating Roy's birthday with a homemade cake, trips to Greece in 2019, a Christmas card with their cats. They're still building that life.
Still connected, clearly. Even with a daughter who's now 26.
And the little handwritten notes scattered through the sources really capture that enduring bond. Things like, love itself is always something new, never dull.
Coast of California. We're in love. Together, we are the best.
Love you more than words.
Yeah.
And one just says, my life is a million times better because of Roy.
Wow. That says it all, really.
It kind of does. It's a powerful testament.
So their story, it's such a good reminder that relationships aren't just something you find, right? They're built day by day.
Absolutely. Built with patience, understanding, humor, appreciating the similarities and the differences.
Making space for both the roving fiesta and the corporation.
Exactly. Which brings us, I guess, to a final thought for you listening. How do these details, the unexpected turns, the moments of real grace and honesty in Temple and Roy's story, how does that resonate with your own idea of what makes a partnership truly last? What makes it work year after year?
That's a great question to ponder. We really hope this deep dive into Temple and Roy's amazing journey has given you some surprising insights and maybe a little inspiration about love and partnership.